Hey, how you doing, guys? So we are live. We are now on and ready to go. And guys, I am here with Dan Gark from Buck Scent Pads and his buddy Ed. And I said his buddy Ed because I cannot pronounce Ed's name, and I refuse to mess it up for him. So, guys, I'm going to let you introduce yourselves. I'm going to let you introduce your product, and we'll start from here.
Awesome. So I'm an independent promoter. My name is Dan Gark, and I promote for Buck Scent Pads. I've been using their products for probably 3 or 4 years and promoting their products independently over social media, shows, anything I can do, live feeds, and just to help get the word out there about this amazing product so that way everybody has the same experiences that we do in the woods. And actually, it changes the way you hunt. So just a little bit about me and what I do for Buck Scent Pads.
Okay. Ed?
All right. I'm Ed Bronikowski. I'm up here in Michigan. I'm not sure where all we're going to have people from, but I've been using Buck Scent Pads and been a pro staff member for 3 years now. And I got to tell you, ever since I started using the product, I see a lot more deer, and I've had way more success than ever before. Love using the product. My favorite go-to is Acorn Scent Pads and corn on the boots to cover the scent walking in to and from the stands.
Awesome. Well, guys, we appreciate you being here. Go ahead, Chris.
I do have to say one thing before we get started, if you don't mind, and I hate to interrupt, I do. So tonight I visited our good buddy TJ, and
oh boy, look at that.
He made me this custom mount for one that I got this year. And I just wanted to share and show. So,
that looks cool.
That is pretty awesome. Yeah.
So, guys, you guys that are on here, that's Chris's first buck. In all his years, he's never shot a buck.
Really?
My buck was too.
So that is for us. For us, it is a big deal. We've been striving and trying to get Chris a buck. He got one, and now we had somebody, a friend of ours, a guy part of the BSO, we just brought on, do his head for or his rack for him and got it done. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, I wanted to share.
Congrats, man.
Thanks.
Congrats.
So Chris, maybe these guys are going to tell you how you can even change your luck and get bigger bucks. That's what we're hoping here, right?
That's right.
So let me start by saying I got some of the products in. I'm distributing them to the guys in the group. We have 6 different guys. I did get your Thermacell pads. I got I call it deodorant stick. It's your rub on. Yep, I got some of that. And I will tell you some of the ones I got, the tops are broken off inside of them. So
I noticed that too on one of mine.
Yeah.
As the plastic thing, but a couple
when they're on, everyone that has that is good. The ones that don't have it, mine broke.
Yeah, there's about this much in the
it's only a little bit. It just sticks to the top.
Yep.
So we do have 6 different kinds of that. We have 6 different kinds also of the, yep, there you go. So we have 6 different kinds of that as well. So I'm going to distribute it to my guys, and we're going to get that out there to them. So all these send eliminators, these are going to be just as exciting as well for us, because in PA right now we're having a major issue where we have to use all synthetic. So we are having CWD issues, and we cannot use Doestrus or any of those things unless they're synthetic. So the fact that you guys use all synthetic is huge here to Pennsylvania right now.
Yeah, it's the same way in Michigan. Also, we're only allowed to use the synthetic unless it's checked by the ATA. And there's also extended rules on scents and attractants, even like this. This cannot be in any reachable form to the deer up here. It's a no contact rule. So you got to spray yourself or keep your stuff right next to you to where they cannot gain contact to it.
Yeah, what I've been doing is I've been spraying myself down with anything I can find just so I don't touch it to anything where they can be. I figure if the buck attacks me, he's just close enough to shoot, right?
Right? Or you get in match.
So I was excited to get your products. I have them here. I know I talked to Scott, who is the owner, correct? Scott is the owner of Buck Scent Pads, creator. Him and his, I believe it was him and his family when I talked to him, right? It was him and somebody in his family that created it.
Yes.
So I talked to Scott on the phone. He sent me to you. He said, you got to talk to Dan. Dan is the guy. He promotes it. He's a guy who understands it the best. He's a guy who can help. And then I talked to Dan, and Dan said, well, we need Ed. So he said Ed uses it all the time. He also helps sell the product and put it out there. So guys, tell us about these products. Now the 3 I have, I said, if there's more, please explain that as well. So tell us about let's start with Thermacell pads. Give us your input on Thermacell pads.
Well, I can tell you from my experience, the Thermacell pads are a great, not only a attractant, but also a cover scent. I hunt a lot of timber, and I tend to use the acorn scent pads because they're pretty strong. They also have a white oak acorn scent, which is a little bit milder. I prefer the regular acorn, which is more of a red oak. It's a little bit more pungent. I get deer, and I sent you some of the videos. I mean, I get them 10, 12 yards away. Shot the biggest buck of my life this year at about 7 yards with the wind swirling in front of me. Had numerous does and fawns at the same distance. So I never worry about my scent when I'm using the scent pads. And I also use the sprays as well. But acorn and corn are kind of my go-tos. And I know one of the guys in New York uses a persimmon. He swears by it. And he's killed some monsters the last couple of years. So I'm definitely a firm believer in it. I can tell you that the last couple of years, I've seen way more deer than ever before, and I'm hunting the same property. I've lived on this property 22 years. So I don't think all of a sudden I magically have a ton more deer, but a friend of mine said one time, it's not the ones you see, it's the ones you don't see. And I think this product allows you to see those deer now.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
I've had kind of the same experiences, the last 3 or 4 years. We've definitely seen a lot more deer, and we use it. Our favorites, mine and Ian's, my son, is the peanut butter, the white oak acorn, and we've dabbled with the persimmon also because we hunt field edges. So they're already out in the food source, they're not walking through the timber. So they're looking for that good, yummy stuff to eat. And we've had to train ourselves to hunt downwind and instead of with the wind in our face, because we kept finding the deer coming up behind us and getting within 5 to 7 yards. But the only the most beneficial thing about it is we've never been blown at. I don't even think my son understands what that means. If I asked him if he was out here right now, hey, we've been blown at, he'd probably say, what are you talking about? Because it covers your scent that good to where we haven't been blown at, and we actually just hunt straight downwind. And other stories, we don't wash our clothes anymore. We leave our boots inside the basket with all the other shoes and stuff in the house. And we don't really even do all that. And I was really skeptical about stuff like that before Buck Scent Pads. I'd hand wash everything with baking soda in the sink. I wouldn't even put it in the washer. But I just haven't done it in 4 years and haven't been blown at since. So this product has really proved itself to us. And we explain that to everybody. So we do downwind challenges where you actually have to hunt downwind, and people are just blown away by that because that's not what you have learned or what you taught yourself or what you believe that you need to do to actually hunt these creatures. But if you can cover your own scent, give them something they want, they're going to come in and they're going to find out what it is.
Well,
Yeah.
I talking to you on the phone, Dan, that was a huge thing in our conversation that really intrigued me greatly. You know, I know as a hunter, we always put the wind in our face, right? That's what we all do. We want our scent blowing away from the deer, and we want it that they can't smell it because deer, one of their greatest senses are their nose. And this product, after talking to you, you guys hunt it opposite, just so the scent goes down to the animal versus opposite the way you would normally hunt.
Right. And I mean, all your scent and the scent of whether it's the pads or whether it's the, you know, the spray, this stuff covers your scent so well and it smells so good that, you know, the deer just do not smell you. And it gives you an advantage because the deer are coming straight at you. It took me several hunts for about a year to understand that, you know, I need to turn around. I got to turn around. All these deer keep coming in from behind me. I'm losing opportunities. And, you know, they'd still come in that close, but they would never blow at me because they didn't smell the hunter. No matter how much scent eliminator you use or how much you wash your clothes, you still have a smell. And I actually put this is new from Buck Scent Pads. It's the
Chris, you want to blow that up for him, Chris?
that is the bio scent eliminator. And he just come out with this year. And me and him had a conversation on the phone. He goes, dude, spray that stuff on a dog turd and see what you smell then. I'm like, seriously, it's that good? He goes, yeah, man. He goes, you're not going to smell it. And I haven't had a chance to do it yet, but I did spray it on me and my son when we were out hunting. We had plenty of deer out in front of us like we always do. So I can't say that it was actually, they didn't smell us because of this, because they normally don't smell us because of this, and they're coming straight to us. So I do believe what he says because he does work hard on this stuff. And I believe that the bioscent eliminator, if you guys are, you know, want to eliminate your own scent, I believe it will work. Ed, have you used the bioscent eliminator by itself?
Not yet, but I can tell you this. I hunt a small tract, and a lot of Michigan is small tract properties. And you hear about the guys, oh, well, you know, you got to play the wind. But they have hundreds of acres and a lot of stands that they can move around and do that with. When you're hunting 35 acres and you've got a handful of stands with a west-southwest predominant wind, you hunt your property. My favorite stand is right next to the bedding cover. I actually have them come walk right out of the bedding cover, right in front of me into the food plot, and I never worry about the scent of my scent going into there and spooking the deer. And like I said, I've sent you a couple of small videos. I've got Mama Doe out there with the fawns. She's 15, 20 yards downwind of me, and they don't blow. They're not nervous. They walk right in and they eat for 15, 20 minutes. And for me, that's the difference. That's the game changer. Because if you get them in there and they're comfortable, any other deer that walks up, they see them, they're comfortable as well.
So,
Right.
Chris, can we pull that video up?
Yep. And Bob Chase has put a comment saying, I got to get that spray for my dog after a tussle with the skunk. We would love to see the feedback on that. If Bob, if you want to get some bioscent eliminator and really try that and see if it will eliminate the skunk smell, that would be some awesome feedback.
So this is the food plot that I'm talking about, and my stand, and these deer are 15, 20 yards away from me. The bedding cover is actually to the left of where you're panning right now. And I've got two food plots that are split by a ditch there. And I'm telling you, I have no concerns whatsoever. They come in, they're calm. And if they're calm, everything else that walks in is calm.
I do agree with this. You spook one deer, you spook them all.
Yep.
So if you got a product like yours that you can put out there and get one deer calm, everyone will follow suit.
So
Correct.
the video you're showing right now is from the day that I killed my target buck. And I was sitting in a ground blind because it was going to rain that morning, and it's the only ground blind I have. And my concern was they'd been feeding, and you can see the distance. Those deer are about 10 yards from my ground blind. My concern was I going to be so close that they could see me? Again, I'm not worried about the smell, but as you can see by the weeds moving, they're right on top of me. The wind was swirling around that morning, and I had a doe with 2 fawns at about 12 yards walk into the food plot, calm as anything, 15, 20 minutes, a couple more deer moved in, then a 4-point moved in, and I had all those deer in there for a half an hour while I was literally filming them and posting on Facebook.
So Ed, let me ask you this: we're getting your product, and you're in there. What'd you do to get in there that day? What did you do? What was your routine that would go into your stand in that blind that day?
So that was a morning hunt. My routine's pretty much the same. That's at my house. So for me, it's just a walk straight in. What I do every time I go to the stand, when I leave the yard, essentially, is I spray. I like the corn spray. I spray it on my boots and I rub my feet together so it's on the soles of the tops. So anything I brush against, any weeds that I brush against, just leave that corn scent, and also keep it on the soles of my feet as well. So that's what I use it primarily as a cover. I walk straight in, and I got a 130-inch 8-point at 8 o'clock who walked in the same path I did.
Wow. Now, did you have your thermocell running at that point?
Yeah, I tend to keep the thermocell running, and whether I'm in a ladder stand or the ground blind, I keep it right next to me. Biggest reason for that is if the wind swirls, I'm still covered. If the wind changes direction, I'm still covered. I don't have to worry about them sneaking up behind me if the wind all of a sudden shifts. So I keep it right on the seat next to me.
Yep, so do I.
And that's one of the reasons I asked so the viewers hear why and how, because supporting this product, me as a hunter, I'm like, okay, what do you do different? So even in a blind and a tree stand, you're running that thermocell product. You're not changing what you're doing. You're running the same thing every time. And I mean, I'm seeing deer. I can see deer all over here.
Yeah. So some of the videos I sent you were of deer. Some of them are just me kind of running the product and kind of giving an explanation. Unfortunately, I couldn't get to one of my videos. It was in the stand that I'm sitting, that you're showing right here. And I had I think he was a 4-point, a small buck. He was about 10, 12 yards from me, right down below me. I thought he was going to climb in the stand with me. And that was from about 2 years ago. And for some reason, I couldn't get to that video. It's froze on my phone. But that's one where you have deer at 5 yards, 10 yards below you, and they're calm and they're not spooky. It's a different comfort level.
Yep, I have the same experiences when we're up in a ground blind that's up on a raised platform, or if I'm in a tree stand, the deer just come straight in, and they'll get about 10 yards and be smelling that, and they'll almost get up to the tree, and they'll actually turn around and walk back out, so that way they can find that smell again and start coming back towards the tree, all the while looking up at me and seeing me there, and they just keep walking back and forth looking for it.
Yeah,
like I said, that's a big thing. If they smell you, that's everything. I watched big bucks in my lifetime. Big bucks go over and lay down 50 yards from you in a sticker bush because they know you're there.
Yeah, and they're waiting for you to leave.
Yep, and I've seen it happen. I had it this year. I seen a 10-point with a 26-inch spread. I was hunting a hollow, come up out of the hollow, got to my truck. It was 11 o'clock. Drove down the hollow. I had to go home and check on the kids because I'm a single dad with 3 kids. And I look in the hollow, and just where I left, he's laying on the bank.
Yep. Now, for what I've noticed for the buck scent pads, with all the pictures and everything that we've received and all the stories that we've gotten, most of the giant bucks they like just the regular acorn scent like Ed uses versus all the other scents, because I think it's the most natural. There's some pictures there. That's from Nevin's Hunting Friends. They take disabled kids out hunting that can't enjoy sports or anything, and they actually have some great success, and Nevin himself has had some great success too.
Well, just doing that alone is fantastic, and the fact that Buck Scent Pads supports that makes it twice as good.
Yeah, we're a sponsor of them, and that we make sure that the kids have products. They're located in Pennsylvania, so they're over your way. Me and Ed both are in Michigan. I actually donate to them too for my own business. But yeah, they have a great time. They have awesome success, just like everybody else that uses it. Like the people that I've turned on to Buck Scent Pads, they call me every year right before hunting season and say, "Hey, I need some pads. Hey, you got any pads?"
Oh,
I
and
think
as an avid archery hunter, I think that your pads and what you're running here is way more important than I mean, yes, with rifle season it's important, but in archery season, you want that 30-yard shot, right? I mean, you want it within me. I'm a 30-yard guy. I want it within 30 yards. That's what I.
Right.
So your stuff in the archery season has got to be booming. Um, it's got to be booming. I mean, not that it wouldn't sell in a rifle, because again, I'm going to use it here coming up this week. But I think in archery, it just has to be booming. I mean, if you're putting the wind opposite and you're basically baiting a deer legally. That's how I'm seeing it by our conversation.
Yeah. Yep.
You're legally baiting a deer with its nose versus what it can eat, right? I mean, that's what you're doing.
Yeah, I've got a tracker friend, and his favorite saying, and I like to use it in some of my promotions, but the nose knows. And if you can fool the nose, you've won the battle, because they're
Right.
not going to. I mean, obviously, if you're moving and waving at them, they're going to see that. But the nose, the scent is the biggest thing to conceal, in my opinion. If you want to be successful and you don't cover your scent, you have no chance.
That deer
You may-
right there, I remember that. It was an early doe season, and I was using the peanut butter, and she came into about 20 yards downwind, and I was laying in a rock pile up in this little cove of woods area off the side of a field, and gave me a perfect shot. She was coming right at me, and I took the shot, and she only went about 40 yards and dumped.
It's look like a big doe.
Yeah. I'm a doe hunter, man. I love shooting does. Not a lot of people up here do that. It's actually a big problem in Michigan. They've been begging us to shoot more does, and actually does taste better. So,
Chris, you had a question. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine. I obviously it can get cold here, especially if we're doing it in muzzleloader season. I saw you guys had a Thermacell warmer. Can you tell me about that?
yeah, we actually use a koozie with the high hands in it, just a hand warmer.
Oh, okay.
We put the butt of the Thermacell inside a koozie and just put a hand warmer in there so it doesn't freeze the butane.
Oh, okay.
Another
Perfect.
trick that we do too is like early in the season when you're dealing with mosquitoes and you want to use the mosquito pad and use the buck scent pad, only stick half of each pad in each side. So that way you have of them running at the same time.
That's actually genius. I don't think many people would think about that. That's genius. You get to eliminate the bugs and get what you need done at the same time.
Right.
So that's actually genius. So buck scent pads are huge, right? What in your guys' experience do you feel you're having more luck in the Thermacell pads, the cover-up sprays, on the, I call them the deodorant rubs just because I think they look just like deodorant. Are you having more luck with just one, or you think it's a routine you said? You think it's just every one of them together make it work?
I think it depends on the situation. I just started using, we call them the swipes, but basically the deodorant stick. And one of the videos that I sent you is from a tree stand, and there's a little tree down below with a little buck, and he's very inquisitive. And I actually rubbed the estrus scent. I think it was from like around the 1st of November. And I rubbed the estrus scent on that tree, and he was smelling something. He wasn't sure what he was smelling, but he was locked in on that. And I only used it a couple times because I ended up tagging out for bucks, so it didn't really do me any good to continue to use it. But I found for me, it's the scent pads and the sprays. I've not used the liquid scent trippers. I'm not using the liquid scents right now, but we do have the liquid scent trippers as well for guys that like the liquid scents. Whether you make your own concoctions or you buy it from the store, but they're adjustable flow nozzles, so you can control the flow so it doesn't just pour on the ground. You can, make it drip. I know we've got one of the guys in Indiana, he uses it pretty religiously, I think, and he's got quite a few pictures of deer, with their nose right up underneath it.
Oh, that's why I asked. I know everybody has like their own. I mean, I know guys that won't go hunting without a certain shirt on.
Right.
That's their ritual. So
my thing was, it all started with the pads. I even this is from my hunting bag. I grabbed it. Didn't even realize it, but I actually have a pad still in here. If I can get it out. And it's a peanut butter pad. I can still smell it. But it all started with the pads. And every time I go out, I use a pad and I turn the Thermacell on. Right. But this year, you know, we got the sprays and we got the swiper. So this year I took the estrus swiper and I rubbed it on mine and my son's boots. So that way, when we walked across 300 yards of field, it would actually leave that estrus scent trail. And then when we got out to our spot, I sprayed us down with, you know, the liquid. So that way we're covered with the liquid scent. And then I had the Thermacell running right at our feet. So that way it was just a continuous scent trail that's blowing through the wind. But I haven't seen a change in the way the deer behave using any different one of these items, whether if it's the pads or the spray. They both react the same way. The deer come in, they don't smell you, and they want to know what they're smelling, and they want it. So they're coming straight downwind into you. So I would say that the pads and the sprays work in unison with each other to be like an equal. Either way you use it, it works great.
So the one thing I like, guys, looking at the product and going through it was, now look, I'm not going to lie to you, right? I opened every one, smelled it. I about puked when I put the estrus near my nose. It was so doggone strong. But I did it because I was curious if each one smelled exactly the same, right? So there's many times you buy a product, and when you buy a product, like corn will smell different than this corn, right? So just to say, it'll be like sweet corn and field corn, right? Your products, these products, when I smelled these, all smelled exactly the same.
Between the
Exactly.
swipers, the bottles, and the pads, they're all made with the same scent. So that way they're all going to smell the same.
Yeah, that was one thing I seen that I truly thought was amazing. That, again, many things, we got a lot of guys that send us test stuff. I got knives here, bags. I get all kinds of stuff. My house, if you look behind me, that's why I sit like where I do, because if not, you see my table just covered in stuff. I got guys that send us all kinds of demo and testing stuff, and I love it. It's something we love. And to be straight with you, like we just demoed, I demoed a few months ago. It's called Second Chance. So guys that hunt with a crossbow, you put this strap around the tree, and this thing is made when you shoot. You just put it right up in the tree, and you can pull instead of pull from the ground. It takes away half the effort.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
For somebody with a bad back or what it does. The guy dropped it off. We tested it. Well, it failed our test. My dad ended up with almost a broken nose, almost fell out of the tree stand. But now listen, the reason we do it and the reason I like it is because I called the guy, right? So immediately the guy, of course, apologized, offered to pay for the bow, broken bow, and he's paying for it. I have nothing negative to say about the guy. But what I loved the most was he immediately called and changed the product to make it safe. So he's now getting a stronger strap and what he does. And even though I hated giving negative feedback, I love that it became better. And that's why I like field testing products. That's why I like doing it. I like being able to give my experience. So I was grateful when Scott sent us, like I said, I told Scott I have 6 guys. He's like, here's 6 of everything. So I thought that was awesome.
Well, I can't wait to see this, hear the stories from your guys of all these deer coming in from behind them, and they, you know, they're afraid to stand up and turn around to try to get a shot off because everything's coming in downwind behind them.
Well, I'm excited. I have a hollow right now. I have a new farm I've been hunting. I have a hollow that some reason, no matter where I sit, the deer in the other hollow, it's driving me crazy. And I've seen a buck in there, an 8-point that is just absolutely massive. And I got a 10-point with a 26-inch spread that hasn't showed his face since archery season. So I'm excited to use this product, just hoping that smell goes down that hollow and someone says, hey, guys, I'm over here, and comes flying up through there for me. Just give me a shot with the rifle. I had a bad rifle experience, and that was on me. I had a ton of deer in rifle. God, I wish I had your product in archery. I had a ton of deer in archery, guys. Like when I tell you ton, I was counting 30 deer a day in the morning and a night between one. So I did, some days I count 60 deer. And I could not get one within 30 yards of me. It was a killer. And the only one I did, I crippled. I'm not proud of, but I crippled it. Couldn't find blood. The arrow stayed in. Called for dogs, whatever I could find to try to find it, and it didn't work out. So terrible on me. But I so wish this product was here when I was doing that.
Look forward to your text when you finally get out there and use it. And it's going to be difficult for you to actually go out and break your own personal knowledge of sitting downwind, face downwind. And you're going to feel like you're doing everything wrong. It's going to feel like, oh my God, I'm not going to see anything because they're going to smell me. And then the magic happens. And then you're going to start feeling comfortable. Your confidence is going to grow with the way that you're changing the way you hunt. And then after you really get comfortable with it, then you look forward to it.
Yeah, and I'm excited for that. I think my guys, after talking to some of my guys, they're very excited to test it and try it for that reason. I had one guy, he's like, dude, I just want the Thermacell pads. Give me them. I'm going to test them this week. He lives by that Thermacell. So when he seen that, he was stuck. He was like, dude, I want Thermacell pads. I'm going out. And I was like, dude, whatever you want to test, help yourself. So, I'm grateful for it. I love the smell. I love that everything matches. That is huge. I mean, I don't think you guys realize how huge, because I've had a lot of products that I smelled one and it was completely different than the same name of the other. And I hated that.
Scott did a great job making sure that he used the same scent when he made each individual one of these products. He didn't want to change it up, so that way when he ordered his materials, he didn't have to order 2 or 3 different materials of the same thing. It's all one thing integrated into all 3 of these products.
Yep.
Absolutely. And if you go into, like, say your swipe stick, right? So here's something for me. I do a lot of looking and trying and testing. Your swipe stick, you see a swipe stick and you think estrus right away. That's the first thing I think, right? I put something on a tree. I want it to be what they want. So estrus is easy. That's something everybody wants. Okay. But you guys went beyond that. You guys went, when you put the swipe stick up, you have persimmons, white acorns, your red oaks. You guys have it all covered. That you just put the swipe stick up just gives a little extra here I am when they get close. So yeah. I like that a lot, especially I can put it on my boots. I'm a big walk into my spot guy, so that's huge.
It sticks amazing. Like if you put it on a tree, that stuff's going to stay there, because I don't think even a first rainfall would make that stuff come off. So when you do use it, make sure you put it somewhere where you know that it's going to be continuous. The scent don't go away when you go away out of the woods. It's going to be there for days and days and days. So you'll see activity in that spot where you put this stuff. So it's just going to stick around, if you want to say so.
I'm actually running 2 trail cameras, cell cams right now. So the moment I can get in there, again, during the week is tough for me because I hunt 40 minutes from my house, an hour from my work, and my work schedule stinks during the week. But the moment I can get into them trail cams, I'm actually going to take your stick and I'm going to just swipe it on a log or a stick close to the trail cam. And I would just want to see if the action itself changes.
Okay. So something I did notice about these sticks is that if it's colder, it's harder. So when you walk out, actually put it in your pocket so your body heat can warm the outside of the stick up. And it will actually rub on better. Like any other, product that's made out of this type of material, it'll get softer if it's warmer.
Absolutely.
If you actually, really heat this up, it will melt. It'll melt in the microwave or in a pot in a pan on the stove, because you got to have a melted form of this to get it into the stick. So just stick it in your pocket or something, so that way it runs easier through the device, and it'll also rub easier on whatever you're going to put it on.
So I'm going to call it out, guys. I'm going to put you on the spot. Scott's going to watch this. Tell me what your favorite one is of them. I see the 3. I see you guys holding all 3 of them. What's your favorite one of these products?
All of them.
Oh, dude, Scott, you heard that, right? He's
in there, that picture there is of a bull elk. So it's not only meant for deer, it's meant for elk. We've had bear come into it, pigs, anything that likes a peanut butter smell will come into that stuff, all them animals will come into that. But it started out with the pads for me, man. I love the pads. And then, we got the bottles of sprays, and we tried that and it worked just the same. So we fell in love with that. And now this year he's got the swipers out there, and just the ease of use of that stuff and being able to rub it on the trees next to you or on your boots and stuff like that. You just love using it that way too. So I can't determine just a single one. Ed, what's your favorite one to use?
I'm going to tell you, gun to the head, I'm using the Acorn in the Thermacell and the Corn on the boots. One of the things too that people should know about this product is it's some of the most economical product for people to use. The scent sprays are so concentrated that you don't need a lot of the spray. Like I said, I use it on my boots when I walk into the stand. The other thing I'll do, especially early in the season, when bow season, when there's a lot of leaf foliage, is I'll spray it in the tree and the leaves around me, and that gives you some extra coverage as well.
Right.
I only use the swipes a little bit, but like I said, I stick pretty much with Corn and Acorn in the scent pads and Corn and Acorn on the boots. Those are my two go-tos. I have used peanut butter before, and I have found it effective. To me, the Corn and the Acorn from where I hunt, which is mostly woods with oak trees, tends to just be more natural, and I've always got ag around me. So the combination of those two to me just seems to make sense. And I can tell you, I've had a ton of success ever since I started using this stuff.
Now, Ed, the corn on the boots, I'm just assuming you walking through cornfields on the way in, right?
Nope.
No. Okay, so what's the theory between the corn and the boots?
I just like something on my to cover my scent, and also, like, as we know, it's a bit of an attractant as well. I have a lot of corn around me. I do plant food plots that do have corn in it, but my walk sometimes is through a cut cornfield, sometimes it's through a cut bean field. It depends where I'm at. But for the most part, on my property, when I'm hunting here, is I have my couple food plots that had this year. I had beans and corn in them. They ate the corn so hard that basically I had stalks and a lot of beans left over. So I did get a couple of plots in late, and where I killed my buck this year, was basically coming in getting the bean pods, and then I threw brassicas over the top of it to get some green into the late season. But I use it more just as a cover. I think it works both as cover and attractant, but I primarily use it to cover my scent.
And you do have a lot of corn in your property, which helps because the deer are used to eating that, smelling that, and it doesn't do any. That's kind of why I was curious what your thoughts were. Now I understand.
Well, one of the guys that's on the staff, he hunts in New York, and I said he swears by persimmon. And I asked him one time, I said, "Do they have persimmon in New York?" And he said, "No, not a single one." And I said, "Why do you use it?" He said, "Because it works." He said, "It's strong and it doesn't spook him." And he does a lot of his own self-filming, and he gets tons of video. From the last couple of years, he shot some really nice bucks out there. And
That'd be right.
yeah, Ryan Finn. He's got his own YouTube channel or page. And man, he does some really good videos. He swears by persimmon. I think that's the only thing he uses. He uses spray and the pads. So I think you got to find what works and just keep using it.
So your advice to viewers would be just test around, feel the waters, and you'll find one. And once you find the one that's yours, stick to it.
I'm a creature of habit, so that's why it works for me, and that's how it works. Like I said, I have used some of the other ones. I have found the success with my combination works really well, and even in some of the videos, I'll say, run an Acorn in the scent in the Thermacell and corn on the boots. It works for me. I think it'll work for anybody, but try it out. It's like I said, it's an economical way to cover your scent, attract the deer, and I tell you, you're going to see more deer than you used to.
I love hearing that. Like you guys are, that's probably my favorite part of everything you're saying, is that the deer are just going to be so different. And I got to hunt the wind differently. God, that's huge.
So that
hunting the wind differently is so different, Dan. Like, it's just a game changer.
It's a game changer. It changes everything. But I wanted to talk about that picture that was just up of me and my son.
Oh, absolutely. Chris, can you go back?
Yep, if he can, just pop it back up there. So that was last year. And me and him only got to hunt once. And that was our only hunt of the season. That's out in the field that we normally hunt. And we both had goals. His goal was to shoot an 8-point, which it's a small basket 8, but it's a mature buck. So he never really had the genetics. And then I wanted to double up with him. So we were using the white oak acorn spray and the peanut butter scent pad. That buck came in to about 60 yards in front of us, and we sit with grass all in front of us, tall grass and weeds. So we're only looking through the tall grass and weeds. We did not see that buck in an open field that we could see 110 yards across until he got 60 yards in front of us, and I seen it. And he shot that buck. And then about an hour later, we got up and walked around this little chunk of woods, and there was a whole bunch of does. And I shot that doe while we were walking out. But that was our successful hunt last year. Was only one hunt, and we both achieved our goals in one hunt of the entire year.
Yeah, that's a good day of hunting.
Yeah, we were both happy for the entire year. He got one, I got one. But that buck right there came into the peanut butter and the white oak acorn right straight to us, downwind, 60 yards. Yeah, that was the nice big doe right there. And then Ian's buck right there was, it's a small basket 8-point, but he achieved his goals.
Hey,
Look, you can tell that's a mature deer just by its head.
He was huge. He had a huge body, man. We had to get help getting him out of there. But I mean, it was a nice small basket 8, and I thought it was a 6. And I gave him the choice of this buck, and he's like, "Yeah, I want to shoot it." And he shot it, and we walked up to it across the field. It dropped in the tree line where we couldn't see it. And I walked in there. I'm like, "Dude, are you kidding me?" He goes, "What?" I said, "You got what you wanted, man." He goes, "It's an 8-point?" I was like, "Yes, it is." And he was jumping up and down ecstatic. And then I shot that doe, and we walked up to the house and dropped all our stuff off. And my brother came out, and we walked across the field and found her and went and grabbed him and put them together and got some pictures together.
There's no memory like a memory with your child.
No, there's
I can't, like, I hunt with my daughter. My son will tag along. He don't hunt yet. And there's no memory like it. I always say no one can top those.
He does everything with me, hunting, fishing. Like this year, he shot a doe, and then 2 days later, I shot a doe.
So now, have you specifically used these scents for other animals as bear or elk? I mean, when you used them, it was a specific, or have you used these scents and that just happened to happen?
Well, you've seen the elk pictures there. Those were specifically used for the elk. I haven't hunted for anything else, but that was specifically used for that elk. And there's another a cow elk in the picture too that I sent you guys, and that was specifically used for that too. So it's been proven with the elk. And we had guys down south order it for the pigs, and they got pigs. And then we've had guys up north say that the bears have came into it too. And another funny story too, since we're talking about other animals, if you use your Thermacell and you're using peanut butter or like the white oak acorn, and if you put that thing out about 30 yards on the ground or on a deadfall tree or something, don't be surprised if a raccoon comes in and snatches that thing and tries to run off with it, because it has happened several times.
See, no, that's a cool video. I would have liked to watch that one. Especially if you got it. Especially if you got it and you had to buy a new Thermacell.
He actually bit the Thermacell by the cage and ran off with it.
That's great.
Could use a Thermacell pad, like especially peanut butter or maybe even the persimmon for like in a raccoon trap.
Yes.
So one more thing I wanted to mention, and again, this is me analyzing your stuff. If you don't own a Thermacell, that doesn't matter.
You can hang the Thermacell pads have holes in them. You can actually hang them on a branch, and you let the wind carry the scent, because these things have a good enough scent to them that it will still carry the scent. So he started punching holes in them so you can hang them on branches or put them on something right next to you.
That was something when we first opened one here. It was me and Skip. And that was one thing that we both said, man, look at that. You don't even need a Thermacell. Check that out. And again, we were like idiots. I mean, I'm glad we didn't video. We're, smelling these things and looking ridiculous.
When you started smelling them things, how many of them did you want to taste?
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm fat. I'm afraid if I put the peanut butter one out, I might try to go eat it.
You're going to laugh. I did a show, like a gun and knife show, and I took some of the product there last spring. And one of the guys, so I had some samples and I was letting him smell them, and he wanted to try the peanut butter, and he goes, "Man, give me some jelly. I'm going to make a sandwich out of this thing." So it smells that close.
Yeah. And another good thing about this stuff too is it's safe for humans. It's safe for pets. if you do try it, it ain't gonna hurt you.
Right.
Well, that won't matter to Ben because I have videos of him eating deer corn several times. So yeah. And what else?
I
What
do
did you
test
eat?
all the products.
You ate deer cocaine?
Yeah, I do test all the stuff we put out
Test
before we
the
eat it.
deer cane.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did.
Deer cane. I forget what the other goat feed. We had all kinds of stuff I was trying. I said, dude, we gotta try this. If it ain't good for us, the deer don't want it.
There you go.
We do it for a laugh. He thinks it's hilarious. So I just have fun with it. It don't matter. We're about fun. I like to enjoy what I'm doing.
Right.
So guys, we're about 45 minutes in, and we're good. We can stay on as long as you want. We usually start losing viewers about 45. So before we start losing viewers, give us a price range. Tell us what this stuff is running and where they can get a hold of it.
And pack of pads, 5 pads in a pack for $9.99. I think this is it a 4-ounce bottle? Yeah, 4 fluid ounce bottle of any of the scents, $9.99. The swiper sticks. Oh boy, that one's a tough one. This isn't new this year. How much are these, Ed? Do you remember?
I want to say they're like $7, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, I was thinking $6.99. I'm not positive neither, but he had the website up there earlier, so it is very affordable. Oh, you know what? They're $10. They are $9.99 because that's what they've ring off as retail. Because there's other companies that make sticks like this out there that cost twice as much for a single stick. So they are $10. So pretty much anything you buy is $10, and they do go a long ways. So it's worth the $10 if you want to spend it. The BioScent Eliminator, I can't remember the price of that. I didn't really get that far into it with it being a new product also, but definitely worth $9.99 or $9.99. But Scott's always running a deal. If you buy a set of everything, he's usually giving you free shipping, or he's giving you one of the sets free, or something like that. So Scott does a really good job at making sure he's hooking everybody up, and he's always throwing sales out.
Yeah, we just had a big Black Friday sale and a Monday sale, so you get a watch for those. I can tell you, I actually have hooked up. So anybody who's watching that's local in Michigan and Eaton Rapids, River Rats Trapping and Supplies, try a bunch of the product and retail it out of their store. So if you're in that area, it would save shipping, and you can walk right in and you can buy it right over the counter. Other than that, I do keep a small amount of product here if people are interested in getting some samples, as well as like we said, you can go and order it right on the website, and it goes through Etsy.
Yeah. And I usually have extra packs of pads on me. This year I got about 7 or 8 swipers so I could hook up the people that are always asking me for it too. So we usually keep some on hand to, sell to anyone that's interested that just wants to try it.
Oh, and here's the other thing, guys. Anybody that is interested, if you don't know how to get a hold of them two guys and you don't know how to get to the website, which is on the bottom of the screen, you can order Buckscent pads, and Chris is putting it all in there for you. You can also get a hold of us, and we'll hook you up with these nice fellas.
So what Chris right there is highlighting is the scent drippers. And it's a tube that can hold 4 to 12 ounces. He's got short ones and bigger ones. And this is what Ed was talking about earlier. It's got that little adjustable nozzle on the bottom of it to where you can control the flow. You can actually have it drip every couple minutes all the way to a stream if you really want to just blow it right through there. But if you put it on a dripper setting for like one, it actually clicks when you turn it. So that way you have your settings and you can adjust the flow on it.
I've actually done
I did talk to Scott about them a little bit on the phone.
Yeah, I've done a couple of demonstration videos, some TikTok videos. It's basically my name, Ed Bronikowski 347. If people want to go to TikTok, if they're not averse to that. I've got a few just kind of how-tos and demonstration videos on how to use the Thermacell as well as the scent drippers. They also have a bucket scent dripper as well, which has the same flow nozzle on it. It holds more scent, so that would be something like if you're looking to leave something out in the woods for all, there you go, right there.
It's right there. Yep.
I think it's about a gallon. And like I said, some guys want to make their own molasses and sugar recipes. Throw it in there. There's the flow nozzle, and like I said, I've got a video on my TikTok page, as well as I could send it to you guys that shows that just a quick demo of how to use it. I was using water, so it flows a little faster than what you might want there, but at least gives you a good demo of how to do it and basically just hang it from a tree.
I like that. I like that a lot.
And you can
Look at the bear swatting it.
Scott, yep, see the bears are in. Scott will sell you the dripper nozzle. He will actually sell you the part if you want to build your own bucket. Like if you want to get a camouflage bucket and cut the hole in the bottom of it, he'll sell you that dripper nozzle.
Oh, okay. Okay. I love that picture. I'm sorry, guys. I'm laughing because I'm loving that. I'm not a Spy Point fan. I want you to know that. You
So
can get rid
all
of the Spy
pictures
Point
that
part.
you do see are with Buck Scent Pads attractant cover scent in it.
Dude, I just look at the bear's mouth. You can see he's swatting at it. He's like, give me that. So I love that. That's awesome. The bucket alone, being it holds a gallon, you control the flow. So
Yep.
I think that's really neat. That can last a long time. And continue to put down what you need and continue to attract. So that is really cool. I like them both. As I said, I didn't know you had the bucket. I did talk to Scott on the phone about the drippers. And I will add this, guys. So this is a complete positive as I talked to Scott on the phone, the owner. And Scott said, listen, we are a little mom and pop shop. We do everything in our power to get a product out to everybody as fast as possible. We love what we do, and we just want people to be able to kill deer using our stuff. And so he truly, I had a great conversation with him. I thought he was a fantastic guy. I mean, he texted me and called me, and he made sure everything was common and good when he sent it. And he didn't have to do any of those things. So he definitely stands behind what he's doing just by my conversation with him. And I thought that was great because nobody has to really do that. Once you buy it, I always tell people, once you buy it, it's gone, right? Nobody has to stand by it. You spent your money. You'd be like, yep, gone. But Scott, you could tell Scott wasn't that guy immediately. Scott was
an amazing guy, man. Like if any of us staff do anything to help the company, he sends us free product. If we get a dealer, he either offers us commission or sends us product for the commission amount. He makes sure that we're taken care of, especially us promoters like me, Ed. If we need anything, if we don't have any money and we call Scott and say, hey, man, I really need a pack of pads, he'll send you freaking 5 packs. That's the type of guy that he is.
I'd like to test this stuff. And once we test this out, I'm super excited. I wouldn't mind getting a hold of Scott. Maybe we can sell some of Scott's product here in PA for him.
You can actually do that. You can become a distributor if you'd like.
Yeah, I was reading on to that. So I think that'd be really cool to have that on hand here and the availability close, especially like I said, the synthetic part of things in PA right now is huge.
Yeah.
We never had that. This is the first year, but CWD is a big deal right now.
Yeah,
so I think his product in PA will sell like a hotcake right now.
Yeah, we've had the same problem in Michigan in terms of having to be synthetic. And one more plug for Scott. Not only is he a great guy, but I don't think the price of the product has gone up in the 3 years I've been affiliated with.
It's not. It didn't even go up through COVID. It's been $9.99 since day one.
That's amazing by itself.
And made in the USA, guys.
Actually made in Dothan, Alabama.
Yep. That he did tell me that's made right there. It is right where he is. Yeah. So here's one thing I want to point out too that is also beneficial for you guys. So I do a lot of research on what we're doing, right? So these guys buying Tink 69, right? The bottle's this big. Okay, you're buying Tink 69. When you buy Tink 69, you do not know how long that's been on a shelf.
No, they actually gather it all up from all these deer farms across the U.S., put it all in one big container, mix it together. It's already done, broke down, and, it has that broke down smell, and they just bottle it, package it, and send it all the way across the U.S.
And $15, and it's this big.
Yep.
So just something to think about. When you buy these scent eliminators, go out and buy your dead downwind, or you buy those things. When you guys go through and do those, think about it like this. I know I bought them a million times. So you buy scent eliminator and a big spray bottle. What does that cost you?
So here's $9.99 up against side by side to a Thermacell. So everybody knows how big a Thermacell is. This is your Thermacell size. So you're getting this thing for $9.99. This is going to last you a long time if you don't abuse it.
Well, the thing is, it'll last a long time because one swipe, say, just throwing it out, but say a week. Say it'll last a week, right? We probably know it'll last longer than that, but say a week.
Right.
Now, you have so many weeks in a hunting season, so how much are you really going to use that swipe stick?
I would say the
right?
more areas you hunt, the more you would use. But if you keep reoccurring back to the same hunting spot, you're going to see that swiper on that tree next to you if you put it there.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. If you're hunting the same area, the same everything, that swipe stick's going to stay. You're going to continue. All you're going to do is refreshing it, and maybe every week. So that swipe stick's going to last them a whole hunting season.
So I want to tell about the sprays too. So like we spray ourselves with the spray. Even though that you spray yourself and you smell so good through the entire hunt, if you keep your clothes in a bag or whatever, you can throw your used pads in that bag if you want to smell the clothes up. But every single time I go out, I spray. It's just a natural reaction to me to want to cover my scent, make sure that I'm covered every time, even though it might already still smell that way because you sprayed it last time and it's that strong. You don't need that much. But every time I go out, I still spray myself.
So one thing one of my guys said, Ed, and Dan, I think it was Skip, I believe, when he was here. He said what he thought of was taking a tote when he's hunting, because he throws his clothes in the back of the truck. That's what I do, right? We take it off, we throw it, we wear something else home. Now, what he mentioned was taking that empty Thermacell pad after it's used, spraying the Thermacell pad, throwing it in the tote.
Yes.
Put the lid on the tote. And he said, dude, there's no way that scent wouldn't stay. Because I'm telling you, if you guys would have laughed, that's all I could say is you would have laughed hysterically if you watched us. We were like two little kids opening these bags and putting them in our nose. And we were half gagging and puking on the floor because the stuff smelled so strong.
So I use pads in my, whether it's a garbage bag, a tote, duffel bag of my clothes since, we started.
Well, that's why I pointed it out. I thought it was funny because you're not the only one that does that. Like, he was right on that, man. I sprayed them empty pads. I could throw them in there. He said even gauze pads or something. I mean, that's anything you can do to save it. I tell you, you'll laugh. Years ago, I used to take dirt. I used to get bags of dirt, and I'd line a tote with dirt on the bottom, and I'd throw all my clothes in it, and it never left there all year until hunting season.
I've hunted a pine area where there was a lot of pine trees. I brought a whole bunch of pine, branches home, boiled them on the stove, and poured the water in a spray bottle and used that for cover scent before.
Yeah, I mean, you do what you have to do, right? Because everything we talked about tonight, everything we've mentioned, a deer's nose is his greatest asset.
Absolutely.
So you can fool that, you're in the game. And this is exactly what this stuff does downwind.
Yeah, it's really cool that the moment I talked to you on the phone, your words were face opposite in the wind. It will change your life. And that was awesome for me. You lost me right there. Like, I'm like, I got to test this product. I went out tonight. I was thinking, man, I got to test this product. I'm thinking, man, if I put a drive on, how good am I going to test this product unless the deer is eating from my butt while I'm walking through the woods, right? So I was like, I ain't going to work. But I can't wait to get out and test it because that's something I'm really excited for. I plan on shooting a video, putting it up and using it and then seeing the outcome. So I am really excited about that.
We look forward to hear your story. The stories are the best.
Oh, absolutely. My guys are excited. The problem is I got guys all over PA, so I got to send it to them and send it to him, or I'll pick it up in a week. You know how it goes. So the good news is we have muzzleloader season, second season archery. We're not done. So once the rifle's over next week, we just keep going with something else until February.
Yeah, it's muzzleloader here, and actually in the zone we're in, we're allowed to use our regular firearms still.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but my phone is like literally going to die.
Yep, well, we're right at an hour, so I think we timed it absolutely perfect.
Perfect.
Yep, we're perfect.
Make sure if you're watching this video, check out Buck Scent Pads. Look at their Facebook page. Check out all the posts. Cruise the timeline. Go into their photo tab. Go online to Etsy. Just purchase one. That's all you got to do. You don't have to buy everything. If you want to give it a shot, spend $10. If you want to take advantage of the deal and get every scent, go ahead and do that because you won't regret it. This product works very, very well. It's definitely changed the way I hunt. It's changed everybody's on the staff, the way they hunt. We all hunt downwind. We broke our own knowledge that we drilled into our brain for 20 some years that this is how we're supposed to hunt, and totally flipped it upside down.
Yeah, that's exciting. Dan, you got famous words before we go? Or no, I'm sorry, Ed.
No, agree 100%, man. It's a great product. I have seen tremendous increase in the volume of deer sightings on my own property. Again, I'm hunting the same property I've been on 22 years. And if I did not believe in it, I wouldn't use it, and I certainly wouldn't be telling other people to use it. I can tell you a lot of my friends they've noticed my successes with it. And I used to be the guy that was happy just shooting any buck, and then I decided I wanted to try and get something a little bit bigger. And what I've noticed is I'm keeping the does around. I'm keeping the does calm. Well, when you got the does out there, guess what's going to show up sooner or later? And when mama does calm and relaxed, bucks are going to be relaxed when they come in.
I love it, guys. I love it, man. Listen, I super appreciate guys getting on. I appreciate your stories. I appreciate you participating in what we do. I hope you enjoyed yourselves, because I enjoyed having you. Dan, we'll get a hold of each other. I know you're making plastic scents or plastic baits and stuff as well.
Yes.
So we'll get some of that on. Get a hold of me. Oh, look, he's working on it right now. Look at that, Ed. So get a hold of me, and we'll talk more about that. I'd love to have you both back at any point. So at any point you guys want to jump back on and do some talking more about maybe a hunting adventure, what you have, reach out, let us know.
Hey, here's an idea for you. After you go out and test this stuff and it changes the way you hunt, and you have to learn how to hunt all over again and hunt downwind, why don't you invite me and Ed back on here to tell your story live?
I think that's fantastic. I think that's a great idea.
All right.
I think that is a great idea. I think that I'm going to take you up on that. And like I said, I hunt these big hollows where the wind just runs down them. So I'm excited. Excited as beyond. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to try to hope Saturday we can put one on the ground and shoot a little video using your stuff out there that we can show how much it works for us here in PA.
All right. Sounds awesome. Thanks, Ed, for joining me on this.
Hey, thanks for inviting me.
Hey, thanks, guys. Have a great night. God bless everybody.
Yeah. See ya.
Chris, roll us out of here.